We have the prayer and the pledge by Councilwoman Sherry Guidry.
Name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, amen. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this blessed day. It is another opportunity for our lips to praise you and our hands to be lifted up to heaven. O God, we ask on this day to help us to conduct and make godly decisions continually on behalf of your precious people. Let our speech always be with grace. In this moment, we ask that you be our helper, and we cast all our cares upon you. For we know that all things are possible to those that believe God. We freely exalt you in this place and in this assembly above all else. Pour out your spirit upon this council and mayor and everyone present as we move forward with your purpose, your plan, and your way. In the name of Jesus, and if you agree, say amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mayor Pro Tem Dan Doyle.
Here.
Councilmember Natalie Lopez. Councilmember Marlon Lewis.
Here.
Councilmember David Broussard.
Here.
Councilmember Deidre Ledbetter.
Here.
Councilmember Sherry Guidry.
present.
Councilmember Dustin Swear.
Here.
Thank you. Item 1, public comment. We have no public comment cards. I'll just remind you this time to please silence your cell phones, and we'll move on to item 2.
Acceptance of the minutes of the June 18th, 2019 meeting as published on June 26, 2019.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilwoman Guidry, second by Councilwoman Ledbetter. Is there any discussion? Hearing none on this item, I'll ask you to please vote your machines. Thank you. Madam Clerk, item 3.
Persons to address the council, we have Reverend Zach Mitchell Sr. and Zach Mitchell Jr. presenting an update on Taking the City Initiative 2019 Children and Youth Camp.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. Good to see you. Pray that your summer's going well. I know that somebody here meant for this council meeting to be short because it's hot. But we're glad to be here, and just want to update you on some things. There are a lot of things that are moving in the city. Since last we talked and shared, there's been much that have come before us. We want to reassure you that we are highly committed to prayer because we believe that on the spiritual side that we have a responsibility and an accountability. That's the ideology that we've had from the beginning, and it is really what it's all about. So we've been praying concerning these issues, and we're going to have issues, folks. We're just going to have issues. I am telling you that in this city, there are forces that are entrenched in this city, old, ancient forces, okay, to really keep this city in a place to where it doesn't reach the potential that God has for it. But God knows what he's doing because he gave leadership, different leadership for the whole parish as well as the city. And things are beginning to open up and beginning to flow in the direction of where I believe God wanted to go. So along with that, we have continued our time in prayer. We have continued to stay the course. And now we get to our summertime where it's time for our camp. I don't know if you remember last year we had roughly about 360 folk at the camp. We anticipate at least 450. If you have a folder, you should have one before you. And I want to just quickly make some comments on it. And show you just a real brief video, and then Mr. Zach Jr. will come and tell you more about the camp, and I'll just close things out. First of all, you see the folder and the camp flyer, okay? And I'm not going to make any more comments because he'll do the commenting concerning that. You also should have in your packet what we call the waiver release form. You should have at least 5 of those in there. And what we want to encourage, we've encouraged this last year, we want to encourage it this year. We want you to be of the mindset that you look in your district and be concerned about things in your district and find young people that you can sow into this camp. I can guarantee you that it is going to help your district, because I know that's your heart, because I hear it all the time. You're concerned about what's going on in your district. Well, this is for the city. This is not for one part of the town. This is for the city. And so we want you to take those forms, and we want you to seriously look for some young people that you can bless. And so you have the waiver forms to sign them up. You sign them up, and you just call me, and we'll pick them up from you. You have my phone number, okay? And so as you go through the folder, you'll see next is the camp needs. Some big numbers on there, but this is a big camp, and this is an endeavor that is necessary. On the front is the camp needs for the food. On the back is the activities, what we need in activities. So that there is a listing of this, so that you can see what's going on and what's needed. We come to the council first simply because I believe this, and in all the years that I've lived here in Iberia, I really think that last year and this year, and you know, you may disagree with me, but that this council has really gone into another level of credibility and another level of confidence with the people. And so we come to you first because we want to say your city council is behind this camp. We want to say that because it's a city camp. And so those are the needs. And lastly, I have here in my hand is it's called the Children and Youth sign-up sheet. It's for resources, and we're asking. You see, we have it listed. The days listed. The camp date is from the 29th of July to August 2nd. That's 5 days. So we have it listed there. We have the food listed. You have one column here where you see all the paper products that you can volunteer and so forth and so on. So everything is broken down, not to hinder you volunteering in one of these spots, in one of these places. So let me just stop there, and Mr. Zach Jr. is going to come and talk to you about, give you some more about it.
All right, great. All right. Good evening, council. How y'all doing today?
Good.
Good. All right, so the name of the camp, of course, is Camp IQUA, I Know Who I Am. And that really is the thrust and the goal of our camp, is really to expose our children to different things, and so they can begin to develop an identity. Because unfortunately, we live in a world where identities are forced upon you. They say this about you, other people say this about you, but we want children to really come to know exactly who they are, and that they're created to do great things in their families, great things in their cities, and great things in the future. And so we're really excited about that. So the camp dates are July 29th through August 2nd, so right before school. So a great positive outing to really get them in the mindset that this is going to be a year of growth, something good for them. This is going to be a fantastic year for them. And really they're going to have a diverse experience. So they'll have experiences within the city, where they'll get to come actually here to City Hall and experience the different parts of government, different city entities, whether it's the fire department, police department, and see how those work. So maybe some career settings. And also, they're going to be going out by Palmetto Park, so they're going to be out there in nature. Can't wait to get some of those kids out there, see how they do canoeing, learning different things. So just having different experiences. And then just really we have some excellent counselors, excellent camp counselors that are going to be working with our kids, just in a variety of different settings. So we're really excited about it. So there's 3 E's that we focus on with this camp. It's excitement. We're always excited about what's going on. And if you're going to do anything with kids, you have to be excited about what's going on. The second is excellence. We're going to do the best with what we have. All right, and that's what we want to pass on to our kids. It doesn't matter, you have to be the tallest, the brightest, the smartest kid. You have to do the best with what you have, and that's going to be enough. And the third thing, we want to educate them. We really want to help them understand exactly what they're called to do and who they're called to be. All right, and so that's what it's going to be. It's going to be a great time. Hopefully it won't be as hot as it is in this room right here, but it's going to be a great time. We're really excited about it. We're always looking for more volunteers. We have more people coming on board daily. So we're looking to the council to really support us and back us in this, and we know that you will, and we know that your help, this will be one of the best camps we've had. It's a transition from last year. Last year we mainly stayed in West End Park with a couple of trips to City Park for the pool, but this year we'll be all over the place. So we'll be in City Park, we'll be in Palmetto Park in Abbeville, and actually we'll be around the city. So the kids will really be moving around. There'll be a lot of transportation, a lot of things going on to really hold their interest, engage them, and have them move forward. So we're really excited about what's going on, and we appreciate your support in advance. Yeah, let me show you a quick video.
Wonderful, wonderful. The reason why you see the empty chairs because all the different groups are in various different other areas. This was just one area. I want to reiterate as I close my time with you, the sheets that you have for you to sign up. I am going to be here and looking for you to put something on that sheet. As for a place, a day that you can help. We also last year asked you for a monetary donation. We thank you for what you gave on last year. This year, we're doing the very same thing to help defray the cost, and we thank you for what you're thinking, and I know your heart is in the neighborhood of $300 per day. So I thank you for your time. Thank you, council. Thank you, mayor. Just appreciate it. It's going to be an exciting summer and an exciting time. Thank y'all.
I got a
Any
question.
questions?
I got a question.
Yes.
There's a $15 registration fee for the kids.
Correct.
And this comes in a cash or money order form, correct?
Correct.
And they make it out to whom? Iberia
Yeah,
Christian
Iberia
Federation?
Christian Ministerial Federation.
And also too, I see, which is really good here, must be new, where there's a parent orientation for the summer camp?
That is correct.
Okay, and so this is before the camp starts?
Right.
Okay.
Correct. Just a side note, we thank the city for their support letter as we approach Palmetto Island State Park to allow the entry fee into the park to be free, and they did not deliver on that, and so we're going to take what they're going to give us, which is half price on the pavilions. So that's what we have, and so figure the math out. If we have 450 kids, that's $3 a piece, okay? And the way the camp is situated, we're gonna halfen the camp attendance up. Half of them will be at Palmetto Island, the other half will be here in the New Iberia area, and we're gonna do that 2 days of the camp. So it's really moving. Any other questions?
Anybody else? I just have one comment. I feel a little outnumbered with 2 Zach Mitchells. So we might have to have a 1 Zach Mitchell maximum. Thank you for all y'all do.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk, item 4.
Resolutions. Resolution authorizing the execution of an intergovernmental agreement with the Iberia Parish School Board for use of the administrative building number 23, located at 502 Amber Drive, New Iberia, Louisiana, and adjacent parking lot during emergency situations.
Do I have a motion? Motion
Second.
by Councilman Lewis and a second, I think this time it was Councilman Broussard. Do we have any discussion on this item? Yes.
Just one correction, it's Ember Drive, E-M.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Great. Thank you for that. We'll make that duly noted. Any further discussion? Hearing none, please vote your machines. Thank you all very much. Thanks for keeping it straight, Deidre.
Thank you.
Papers have been graded.
That's it. Item 4B, Madam Clerk.
Resolution awarding bid to the lowest bidder, MP Demisnil Construction Company LLC, and rejecting the deductive alternate for a resulting contract price of $247,800 for the Squirrel Run Pump Station Rehabilitation Project, contingent on the approval of the Louisiana Department of Environmental Quality, and authorizing the mayor to execute all contracts in connection with this project.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilwoman Guidry. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mayor Pro Tem Dan Dahl. Do we have any discussion on this item?
I do, man.
Yes, Dan.
I had a few calls, and I think I talked to you about it.
You did.
This is about the sewer pumps, not about the drainage.
Correct.
The pumps that was always in question about who was responsible for, and it's still not the city.
Correct. Well said. Justin. Yes, sir.
It's contingent on the approval of the DEQ. Do we have any idea when the DEQ will be approving this?
It's submitted and they're working on it. Vince handles those things. I don't think it'll be a long time
Too long,
coming.
okay.
That's why we're doing this now, to be ready for it so that we can get started. It's
right.
well needed.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Further discussion? Seeing, hearing none, please vote your machines. Thank you. Madam Clerk, 4C.
Resolution awarding bid to the lowest bidder, Minville Davis Construction for a contract price of $42,413 for the 2019 New Iberia Police Department office renovations and authorizing the mayor to execute all contracts in connection with this project.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Swear and seconded by Councilwoman Cherry Guidry. Is there any discussion on this item?
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
the funding for that, is it coming out the police department's budget or is it coming out of?
Most of it is coming from the bond money. We got a little creative with some of the existing budget items, but that's where it's coming from.
From the bond?
Yeah, mostly from the bond.
Okay.
Any further discussion? And this will close out the bond, just to tell you.
Okay.
Well, seeing and hearing none, please vote your machines. Thank y'all. Madam Clerk? 4D.
Resolution awarding bid to the lowest bidder, Ernest P. Bro Electrical Incorporated, for a contract price of $62,800 for the switch gear and panel change outlet project at City Hall, and authorizing the mayor to execute all contracts in connection with this project.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilwoman Guidry. Do I have a second? Mayor Pro Tem. Is there any discussion? Any questions?
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
after we finish the city hall, it'll be like a new building.
Man, let me tell you,
We
we
gotta
have
put some money into this
gotten
place,
hit. I mean, think about it. We did the roof. Now, this was mandated by our insurance company because we have Federal Pacific panels and they will no longer cover us if there's a fire. Yeah, we have made some major improvements to this building, and unfortunately, if you knew how hot it was in here tonight, we're having to do an emergency one in a little while to fix the air conditioner for the second time. So yeah, this building has been an adventure. Yeah, rehab. Any further discussion? Yes, ma'am.
So basically, this is an upgrade on the electrical system for the entire city hall, and this is to bring it up, is already up to code, or you're just trying to make it better?
The
to
insurance
improve?
company will not cover us because it has Federal Pacific panels who've been outlawed many years ago. So in order to keep our fire coverage and to make this building safe, we don't have a choice.
Right.
But it will change out 7 panels in this building
Okay.
and the main switchgear. Anything further? I ask you to please vote your machines. Thank you very much. Madam Clerk, item 5.
Public hearing. Public hearing on introduction of budget amendment number 2018-2019-12, amending the ordinance levying certain taxes, appropriating the funds necessary to defray the expenses and liabilities of the city of New Iberia for the year 2018-2019, to amend the budget for year-to-date variances.
I need a motion to open the public hearing.
Motion to open a public hearing.
Second.
Councilwoman Guidry and Councilwoman Ledbetter. Is there any public comment on this item, item 5? Seeing and hearing none, I need a motion to close the public hearing.
Motion to close.
Second.
Motion to close by Councilwoman Guidry and Councilwoman Ledbetter. Any discussion on this item? Hearing none, please vote your machines.
Wait, I gotta
Oh,
read
I'm
that.
sorry, I'm going too fast. Now we go on to item 6, the ordinance. I always do that.
Adoption of budget amendment number 2018-2019-12, amending the ordinance levying certain taxes, appropriating the funds necessary to defray the expenses and liabilities of the city of New Iberia for the year 2018-2019, to amend the budget for year-to-date variances.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion
Second.
by Councilman Lewis and Councilwoman Ledbetter. Do we have any discussion on this item? Now please vote your machines. Thank you all very much. Now we move on to item 7, and it's a discussion item.
Well, let's do this.
Oh wait, we're gonna amend the budget to fix our air conditioning. I'll need a motion and a vote to expand the agenda.
Motion to expand the agenda. I can second it.
Okay.
Motion by Councilwoman Guidry, a second by Councilman Swear. And this takes a unanimous vote.
Yes.
Please vote your machines. We have a unanimous vote, so we can expand the agenda. Madam Clerk?
Ordinances. An emergency special ordinance pursuant to Home Rule Charter Section 2-13, emergency ordinances to appropriate the sum of $10,000 to repair the air conditioning system at City Hall, 457 East Main Street, New Iberia, Louisiana, and to amend the budget for the year 2018-2019 pertaining to the expense of the government of the city of Iberia for the year 2018-2019 to the appropriate funds as shown on Exhibit A, Amendment Number 13, attached Tier 2.
I need a motion to open a public hearing.
Motion to open.
Motion by Councilwoman Guidry, and who is that? Mr. Broussard? Councilman Broussard. Is there any comment on this item? Seeing and hearing none, I need a motion to close this public hearing.
Motion to close.
Councilman Guidry? Councilman Broussard. Now I need a motion.
Any comment?
Any comments? No comments? It's hot.
Yes, on
Now we need a motion to vote
the order.
on the ordinance.
Motion to vote. Second.
Okay. Councilman Swear, Councilwoman Guidry.
It's hot.
Any discussion? No discussion? Please vote your machines. Okay, Jimmy issued a purchase order. Whew. Thank y'all very much. Madam Clerk, now we move on to item 7.
Council remarks, a discussion by Ms. Sherry Guidry on illegal dumping, the process for blighted properties, cutting down trees, and the process for cutting high grass.
You have the floor, Councilwoman Guidry. It's hot. I'm taking my coat off.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to say that for the last few weeks I've been walking this blazing sun, so if I'm different, 3 shades of different types of chocolate, that's why. Lost sleep over this. My constituents are frustrated, which makes me concerned and slightly frustrated, but at the same time, I know that there's a process on a lot of the blighted properties, high grass, and so forth. And the first problem, though, illegal dumping, there's a huge problem in certain areas, mainly West Washington. There was wood dumped on civicsource.com properties at least 3 times, and I know for a fact that City Hall went at least twice to go and pick that up, and then they turn around and they dump it again on the next day. This dispirited act really disappoints me. At the same time, I got out there and went talk to a lot of the grandmothers and mothers, and what's happening is it's a particular individual that's doing it on West Washington. For what reason, I have no clue, but hopefully we can get law enforcement on this issue, Mayor. So as a matter of fact, while I was talking with some of the grandmothers and the mothers in their yards on West Washington, he came to do another load. You know, we're not a dumping service pickup. You know, we're city government, and city government should be the last resort to get into matters such as these. So I call it community policing for high grass, blighted properties, dumping. You know, we can community police, the residents can community police together, and we can, I just advise them, just take a picture. If you see someone committing this dispirited act, take a picture of them or their license plate vehicle so we can get law enforcement involved. I know why they're frustrated. There's a lot of people that's working hard, paying their taxes, and you know, when we take people from Public Works to go and pick up something because somebody decided that they just want to dump it side the track or wherever, we're taking away from their jobs and also costing taxpayers extra money by going back and picking it up 2 and 3 times within a week. So that's part of the illegal dumping problem. There's a gas tank dumping problem along with tires along Shortfield Street, and I was called out for that. Went in out there and talked with the residents as well. Apparently the gas tanks, I'm not sure, Mayor, if they're worth anything in council. I'm not sure why they throwing the gas tanks there. I'm not quite sure what's going on with that, but it's Shortfield Street are loaded with that on the side of the track. Robertson Street, that's another, the track, and I think it's Robertson Street right there in the short field. That's the major problem there, and so we're working with residents to get that situated. The last thing is, what else it is? The contract with Gordon. We do have a contract, but our contract is a in-placing agreement that we must comply with as city government, and some people are slightly confused on what is it that we actually pick up. And Mayor, you know, I've talked with you on several occasions about this. You've actually come out with me to several residents. People are frustrated and do not understand that whole trees will not be picked up by Gordon. It's just branches, debris, trim trees. Oh, I'm tongue-tied today. So basically, before you take on this project and before you decide to cut down trees, which is a great thing, but maybe contact City Hall and find out what is the certain diameter that we need to cut up these tree trunks. Because if they're too large, Gordon will not pick it up, and it's going to remain there. And so now we have a bunch of trees to the road, whole trees with large chunks, and it's just going to sit there because that's not part of our contract. So it's slightly frustrating in a way, because, and I can understand why residents are frustrated, but the truth of the matter is, it's just about educating ourselves on what is done and what's not done. Also too, what else? It's real simple. What else we got? Abandoned houses. And I really want to stress this. There's a process in place for abandoned houses. And Mayor, I do remember us generating a list. It was issued out to the public, and we said that we're going to either board up or it was on the demolition list. Do we have an idea of when we're going to do some of those things?
Let me report to you by the end of next week.
Okay.
With the ownership information.
Sounds good.
Set a deadline.
Yes, sir. Thank you. My last thing I have, and this is the frustrating part, but it's doable and anything is workable when we put our heads together. We have repeat offenders every year between May and September concerning high grass. And Mayor, we have repeated violators. It's the same yards, it's the same areas, and I don't know exactly what we can do about that. Maybe that's something that we can bring to my committee that I chair and talk about that under the nuisance laws. So that's basically all I have. And if our attorney would weigh in a little bit about our process that we have. High grass, once you receive the letter, you have 15 days to respond.
Yeah, it's in the ordinance.
Mhm.
We have to give the notice, determine ownership, give the notice, give them a chance to respond, and then we cut.
Well, and the thing about that is, I just want to encourage the neighbors that's staying next to these high grass properties. If you see the grass is, let's say we come out and cut the grass, send the bill to the property owner. But if you see it starting to grow up again, don't wait till it's like sugar cane level size to decide to call again, because what's going to happen is it's going to sit there like another month or so to get processed, because there is a process.
There is, and we can't cut grass like we all cut our yards. You know, we can't be out there every week trimming it.
That's
but
right.
we can, for health and safety reasons, we can keep it down. But there is a process. And let me talk to you after the meeting. I have another idea that we might pursue to enforce that ordinance.
Okay.
Okay.
That's all I have, Mayor and Council. I'll keep it short because it is hot.
Well, thank you. I know this is an item that we all get calls on, because remember, they all get funneled to my office. They all come to my office, and Hillary spends a good part of her day entering, taking all these calls. Then they go all upstairs to Jimmy and Liz, and they deal with it and, turn out the letters, turn out the notices. It is a process. Some people are patient. Some people are not patient. But when you live next to something, some of these problems, let's just look at it real quick. We've been here for 2.5 years, and we are trying to be aggressive with this. We have over 550 adjudicated properties. The map's on my desk. We can't fool with many of them or any of them until they're 5 years old. So we've retained them for 5 years. We still don't own them. It's a process. We are going to continue to deal with this. We are continuing to be aggressive with our stance on this and trying to come up with money to address this issue. But it's not a new issue. Many of these properties have been abandoned or unkept or the grass not cut for some, some of them, as you said, are repeat offenders, but I'm talking about 10 years, long before we got here. So it's an issue that is not going away. We have to try to get creative to deal with it. We want to get creative to deal with it because we're uplifting our communities in so many other ways. We have new businesses. We rolled out the crime stats last night. We're doing what we need to do. We're attracting those new businesses. People are excited about the momentum that we're building. That's the last piece of the puzzle that we have to find a way to get a handle on. So I appreciate you bringing it up. Don't want anybody to think that we are not working on it, but all of these things are a legal process. Some of this stuff we're doing is the most drastic thing government can do because we're going on private property. So there is a process. None of us want to go to jail, and none of us want to do the wrong thing. So we just got to be patient and work through it. But I appreciate you bringing the issue up. Any other discussion? Yes, sir.
Well, I mean, I think like you stated, we all have this issue in our district.
Mhm.
My
Everywhere in
concern
town.
is some of the concerns of yours, Ms. Guidry. And I guess since we do have a camera, I'm speaking to the culprits. There's a particular church in my district, Mount Olive Baptist Church, on the corner of Field and Emory Lewis Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they got a new gas can and a new set of tires at least once a month there, and trash. And I'm gonna tell you, if I ever see them, and I'm there all the time, if I ever see them, I'm gonna call them, take a picture of their license plate, and turn them in. Cause I mean, come on, man, at least let the church be beautiful. The only other thing, I know we got a lot of properties, but those intersections, I would ask that our public works or our compliance office, whoever's in charge of that, those intersections where those grass get high at, like sugarcane, like you said, I would appreciate if those get direct attention first, because when I'm riding my district and I can't see, and I'm the councilman, well, I'm 10 times mad because I'm mad for myself and the 10 people that called me. So if we can give attention to those intersections, because I get it. We can't cut off 500 yards, and I know this to be true because the house that we fought to tear down, Jimmy, on Hopkins Street, 602. 706. That grass, it looked like a sugarcane field, a small one, but it looked like a sugarcane field now. And I'm like, when we talked about this, we tear down the houses and then we have grass issues. I'll tell you this much though. I like Lafayette. I visit Lafayette. I got friends in Lafayette. I ride through Lafayette, around Lafayette, the pretty parts, and in the hood. And I don't see tires and gas cans. I won't say that I don't see abandoned houses and high grass, but I don't see tires and gas cans like talking about. I'm talking about in Lafayette, VZ, Macomb, Truman, Fightonville. That's the type of district I represent. I don't see them. And I mean, I don't see them like I see them here, so we might need to find out what they're doing, if they're doing anything at all. Because I could overlook it, but I'm looking for this, and I don't see that I see these things in Lafayette like we see them here, especially gas cans and tires. I think it's sabotage. I think it's somebody that don't want to see us do well, say that know that we can't pick up gas cans and say I'm going to throw 20 of them in Marlowe's district, I'm going to throw 10 in Sheriff's district. That's how I feel. Maybe call me a conspiracy theorist, but man, come on, give us a break. And like you said earlier, Dan, it may be a business. I mean, how many gas tanks can you change in a year? I'm going to say in a year. I'm telling you, these gas tanks, I mean, I got my little truck running. I know what I'm going to do, though. I'm going to pick them up myself, and I'm dropping them to the city barn, and we're going to work with them. Because they got to get off because I mean,
We better increase his budget.
He gonna deal with me when I get to the gate, but we gonna work something out. But no, in all seriousness, I support you on you putting this on the agenda. I actually called her that day to tell her that I was gonna put it on the agenda because I gotten that many calls.
I understand.
You know,
We feel them
And,
all here, so we get, and then y'all call us. So the combination, we hear about it.
the word of the day is acceptance. It's hard for our constituents to accept that we can't get to every yard before it looked like sugar cane. And it's just, we can't get to every yard before it looks like sugar cane.
We can't.
My main concern is those intersections, though.
Okay.
Look like
Yes, sir, Mr. Broussard.
those letters we sent to the tire dealers. We sent some. I delivered some myself.
Mm-hmm.
It worked. They got tired of me hearing on St. Mary and Walton for 4 or 5 times. You know, they got tired, finally. Nobody's dumping at St. Mary and Walton, and keep away.
You moved it to Sherry's district. No.
You move it away.
I'm
Stay on
kidding.
top of it, Sherry. You're doing a good job. We appreciate it, but if we can send more letters again
Thank
to
you.
the tire dealers every 3 or 4 months.
We can try that until we started. It seems to have
I
helped.
think it's the tire dealers putting those tires out. You know, it's not the everyday person. So look out, tire dealers, y'all. Send your tires to the right place. Don't just dump them. And if I'm wrong about the tire dealers, I apologize.
Thank you, Mr. B. Any other comments? Yes, ma'am.
Mayor, I'm just gonna ask this. This is an emergency in certain places where we actually have whole houses with no front door and windows busted throughout. If you stand on the street, I think one's on Lafayette Street. There's one on East Persian Street, and if you stand at the road, you can see clean through the house. There's some illegal activity which I will get with law enforcement, but those are emergencies, and I wouldn't want to stay on the side of something like that. So maybe if we can board up a couple. I know we have a program that we're doing that you talked about, but some of them are at emergency state.
I still have a process to follow, so but
I
let you know.
Give me
understand.
the addresses.
Yeah, we'll
Yes,
talk
sir.
about them. Good.
All right, that's it.
All right. Well, thank you. That was a good discussion. Now we're gonna move on to Councilman's remarks. I'll start with Councilman Lewis.
Well, Mayor, this weekend, as you know, we finally, Mr. Leroy, y'all did a good job with that sign. Thank you. We finally got the street changed. Ms. Velma Lee,
Yep.
I promised the family I would wear my shirt to the
There you
council
go.
meeting.
There you go.
They gave me a shirt. They gave me a shirt, and I'm proud of my shirt. But it was a nice community event.
It was.
And like I said, as hard as street name changes is, I don't want to have to do it again. But I do want to see us do more community events that highlight our community, you see. Because, I mean, it's like a seed being planted, you know. And I know that there are some people out there that day that's going to say we got to do more. So the more we do, the more we can get done. So, and thank you for coming out. Thank you for Dustin. And I know all y'all was, you know, had us in y'all present thoughts. But it was nice on Saturday.
It was. Thank you. Mr. Broussard.
Miss Sherry, I see in Youngsville, they put up a nice mini library, following other cities, and you follow them too. I got people in my own neighborhood at Parkview Park, you know, in the neighborhood, who might look at putting one. We'll follow your lead on that too in the neighborhood, so get the kids involved in that. And let's all say a little prayer for Mr. Robichaud, our ULL coach, baseball coach. He touched a lot of kids from this area, from this town. He's in serious condition, so we always pray for the less fortunate that's happening now. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Broussard. Dan.
Well, Mayor, since the city and parish is working so good together, people get confused what's happening. There's two things that's happening that the city is not part of, but we appreciate the effort that they're doing. One is the Public Works building, the old Dutch Gosnell building. It's for the parish, it's not for the city. We're not moving from Allendale Drive.
Okay.
And the second thing, the 911 building they're building at the air base is the parish, and it's been built there because of the elevation of the air base being so high. And but we are not spending monies on those projects. People want to know why we were doing that.
Okay.
So I just wanted to clear it up
I
and wish you
appreciate
the
it.
best. And you know, they just get confused and say we're working so well together. They don't know where the line is.
Sometimes we don't know either, but that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Thank you.
Good. Thank you. Councilwoman Ledbetter.
I just want to tell everybody to have a blessed 4th of July. And that's all I have today.
Thank you. Councilwoman Guidry.
I just want to invite everyone to the Veterans Parade on Thursday, 4th of July. And I like how Pastor Zach's son said, when you're doing something with kids, you have to be excited about it. And this is one of the things that I'm excited about. But it's not just for kids. It's for all adults. It's for everyone. So I want everyone, if they can, come out to the 4th of July parade to support our veterans and honor them as well. We have a little new segment called Light Up My Ride, and I just want everyone to come out support it. We now have cold cups that someone is bringing, a bunch of cold cups, pecan candy, and a few other things. And we have grab bags for the first 50 riders for you to ride your own bicycle. So come on out, meet us at 1230 Bouillonnet Plaza in New Iberia. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Marlon, I want to say that was a very nice event that took place Saturday morning. It was actually some great weather. It's good to see a lot of the family and their friends and positive things happening in the community. And that was very nice to see them come together that way and celebrate something special to them. And so that was great. And like you just said, happy 4th of July to everyone coming up. Be safe, please. And other than that, that's it.
Great. Thank y'all. 4th of July parade's coming. Haven't had one this big in a very long time. Thank you to everyone's efforts. Light Up My Ride that Sherry started. I think it's going to be a good addition to the parade. Bring your bikes, decorate them in a patriotic theme. We're going to have a little judging of the bikes after. The veterans will have their ceremony. I think it's going to be a fun day. We have hot dog, I think 300 hot dogs. So it's going to be a good event, a good small town event. So come out for that. I attended the renaming Velma Lee Lane. It was a lot of fun. Marlo's right. We need to do more of those kind of events. Getting families together and people together is something positive. It's just really good to see. And that was a positive thing, for our community. So I thank you for your efforts on that. It was a process. It took a while. You weathered the process well. So I think that in the end, the right thing was done. And it shows our community that our processes work. That we do listen, that, we're here to represent them. So I thought that was a great example. Other than that, our PD is 1 year old. We had a town hall last night. Many of you got to attend. We rolled out our crime stats. We also talked about all the grants and the growth that's occurring. We kind of did a shout out to every department head and highlighted the things that have been going on with our various departments. Can't thank all of you enough because I couldn't do it without any one of you. Spent a little time thanking the council because without y'all, none of this would be possible. So best of luck to every one of us. I think we got a bright future. We got a lot of work ahead of us, but I think that this is only the beginning. We are, rebuilding a town, and we're not finished building a police department yet. So I appreciate, everybody for that. Other than that, our next meeting is Tuesday the 16th, and we still have Civic Source properties for sale. And that's it. It's a wrap. I need a motion to adjourn.
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I just want to acknowledge
Sure.
one more event
Sure.
that happened this weekend.
Sure.
And I know you get the last word, supposed to get the last
It's
word.
all right.
Damon Snacks Harrison, NFL football player for, he graduated in high school in Lake Charles, but he grew up in New Iberia, went on in the NFL. He gave a camp this weekend in Bank Street Park, totally free. And I promise y'all, we need more people like that to come back. He got all the ex-football players and some current football players to come and help out with the camp, man. And he is actually talking about partnering with the city in some way. So I definitely want to acknowledge him and his foundation, I Told a Storm Foundation, man.
Great.
Thank you.
I would love to meet with him, set up a meeting, and let's see how we can partner. If there's nothing further, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Thank you. Meeting over. Let's get out this hot box.